Greetings once more. It is time for us to turn back to the past once more, but a different past than what we've been talking about. Let us go back in time. It's a dark evening. Sitting on a desk with a book open. Ixbanor. This is a book you've been looking for from the library. One on interesting herbs. As you're reading over it, in the candlelight, a man nearby scribbles some notes, writing down a few things. Working at the very desk you will read upon. It's a night like many others we've had. Though in this case, perhaps there's something a little off. In the distance, there of course are noises, things echo in the wind. Nothing major, but still, perhaps an unease, a tension, sits there. After a few minutes, the door bursts open. A young elven woman, younger elven woman comes in. Master, please, reconsider. Allow me to head out. The man next to you kind of puts his pen, turns to us. Slender. No, you are much too young. Though a time may come for battle. I can only hold back so much. While your fellows, my other apprentices, have gone off, and certainly speaking, the older students are captured. You are still quite young. Not trained enough, not ready enough. Well then, Master, perhaps something else. I wish to be of help. Perhaps we should plan for moving the collections, more rare and more important books that cannot be lost if this place comes to fight. Kind of turning his attention towards you, Ixbanor, and kind of reaching over and kind of giving you a little pat on your back. I'll kind of like say, like, that might not be a bad idea. Would you fear a battle will come as you kind of turn towards the window behind you? And if it does, I do not know if all that is here has been kept behind you will be safe, or everything will be lost. For a moment, he pines, looking out the window, before a crashing noise comes from somewhere else in the building. Something loud, something dangerous. Ixbanor, to my side. Something's amiss.
Mm-hmm.
Master?
I pop up onto his shoulder.
Mm-hmm. The man stands confident, pulling his staff from nearby, and starts marching out into the area. The young apprentice, Celindia, runs forward, as if to scout things out, see what's going on. A few turns and twists down the hallway, before suddenly a blast of energy comes out of nowhere, slamming into the woman, sending her back. She reels, nearly unconscious, struggling as she is bleeding. Celindia! Ixbanor, watch her. The man kind of turns the corner abruptly, carries his staff out.
Where are you going?
Stay close. He kind of turns the corner, looks out, as now you two can see around the corner, as you're watching after your master's last apprentice. Pathinder. A group of 3 creatures. You've heard of these before, but only in tales. Things from dread. Ogres. They're standing around. Next to them, in the middle, is man. Think man. There's something odd about this creature. Looks almost them? You can see that the ogres are carrying things. Their hands covered in blood, but sacks of who knows what looted from this place in their arms. The master looks at the scene, holding his staff, and addresses them. Randall, is it truly you? You were dead millennia. Yes. That is what you thought, is it not? You and the people abandoned us. Truly, I don't have the gift of the Catalyst magics to keep me alive. I've had to find other ways to last this thing. This man will kind of hold out his own staff, kind of waving it, as circles of magical energy will appear on the ground beneath the three behind him. Go. I will handle this. With a poof, they disappear. So, old friend, you are indeed surprised to see me. I thought to collect some old gifts from this place before things went south. I'm surprised you're still here. Not surprised you're still kicking. Andrew, what happened? I told them not to place the wall, not to do what they planned. Did you? Perhaps you are one of the last few ones that remembers what happened. Bastion of the past. Still looking after you. Do you tell them that you were afraid? A coward who left his compatriots, his fellows, to die. Abandoned them. We were making a life down there. We were finding out how to survive, and then you threw us to the wolves. You gave us no time to escape. You told us to abandon all we had worked for. I don't blame you. The screams, the death. I watched my family swim. Hates to try. But no, I don't blame you. Thrown into that place. Only the strong could survive. Not like it was before. With smart. So, I stayed. Dread, protected. And now, I'm afraid. It is the end and all this place. Andre is dead. Dralik. Dralik, your master. How could you go with this one? The ritual they're enacting. It's of the dead gods. You know too much. I don't have to do anything. This place will end with you. As he gives a wry smile, and your master turns to both of you, casting a spell. A similar circle to his own comes around you. As the two of you helping out Slandria, your apprentice, and you disappear. The place engulfs in flames and fire as it fades from your eyes, and all you can hear is a laughing. there you go. View the Ixbanor's Pass to start us out.
It wasn't quite, to be fair, I didn't quite tell you about this. But technically, the staff I have, and like I don't know if you look at my picture, the staff in crystal in it, the staff is supposed to be a piece of my master's staff that was burned, which makes sense with the fire, and the gem is supposed to be
afterwards.
Okay, cool. I was wondering if it was possible to go back.
I would just say, it was not the fall of the capital, but that
got
night, because the battle had not reached there that night. The academy was destroyed.
Okay.
Your master with it at that point in time.
There's probably a scene later where it's just like I'm, amongst the, burnt hallways, wandering, looking till I find the body sitting there. Do the Simba shake.
And of course,
Halifax?
Dralek, one of the generals of the Dread Army, was introduced to you. A creature that looks like a elf, but as if strange surgeries and things have been grafted on him. Perhaps to extend his life. Who knows? Your master was ancient, that's for sure.
Yes.
Anyway, welcome to everyone to Fall of Avanswell. That was a little bit of a roundabout way to dive us into it. We are down in person today. Eskret cannot join us today, so I didn't fully readjust the things at the bottom, but just imagine there's an Eskret in between the two there.
Also, I got rid of the Dukes because I talked to my artist, and she's like, "Yeah, the reason it was bouncing around and didn't look super great was because of the Dukes." So, no more Dukes, but it looks better now.
Yeah, it's trying to figure out a great way to make things work. Anyway. Why don't we get our
Figured I'd explain for the observant person.
With our question. So, I need everybody to roll a d20 and we'll find out our order for today. Introduction and question asking. Talas has 9. Ooh. So it looks like Umbrin will be first, followed by Ixbanor, by Talas. So, Joe, Wyrm, Momo. So, our question for today, Brave One, is what is your most cherished personal object you still have with you? So, give your introduction, who you are, who your character is, and that. Joe, we'll start with you then. You rolled the 20.
I have no idea.
Ooh.
Well, introduce yourself at least.
Yeah. I'm Joe. I am playing Umbrin. I guess probably maybe a letter from my parents.
Ooh. Okay. That would be a very big personal project. What is Umbrin too? Just a shout out there.
Yeah. I am a Fetchling. My brain is just dead today. Liminal Fetchling Animist. I talk to spirits and channel their powers.
Ooh, nice. All right. That does seem like a very nice personal object, though, that you would say. Oh, yeah. Well then, Wyrm. I guess you're next then, because you will be 11.
I am Diamond Wyrm. I play Ixbanor, the ferret, the awakened animal ferret, sorcerer, who was a former familiar of Halifax, the man who died. My most cherished possession is my staff, which I made out of a burnt piece of my master's staff and his consumed Aeon Stone.
As preparing for war came for you. And they stole a bunch of stuff, too.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that is actually a thing. That's kind of funny that you brought that up. It's like, oh yeah, no, that's actually what I... that's my most cherished possession, is that.
Yep.
If you look if you bring up my picture, you'll see it.
You got a lot of pictures. Anyway, there. Eskret there. Momo, you're up there.
Hello, I'm Momo. You've probably seen me on many games, and this one. I am playing Talas Skullshatter, a hold-scarred orc, and seneschal to the wonderful Lord Mayor of Insert Town. And I think this guy's most prized possession is his lawman's badge, because he used to be a Night Watch member.
So, cool. Definitely those marked in the past. So last week, our group finally made it to this small village that they were tasked with exploring. The village of Crestamane. You know that Crestamane is toward the northern border of the lands you're from. And of course, this dread army is approaching, theoretically, from either the north or the west. The west has a river. The north doesn't have as much rivers. At least the river that they would have to be crossing is past the city you're in, where you come from, Birchlands. So, yeah, good thing to scout this out. So the idea was to find out what's going on at this village. No one's been talking to them for a while, and then maybe investigate the area to see if anybody's seen anything that could be signs of it or otherwise. After a small journey that was a little harrowing, you finally arrived here, finding the town abandoned, virtually abandoned, until you discovered one man, Gregor Brackcrawl, who was a horribly disfigured man, with all kinds of problems. One arm's longer than the other. He's got like weird stuff sticking out of his neck. His face kind of looks like it's kind of melted. I believe I described him as making Quasimodo look beautiful. So yeah, pretty horrible man, physically. But he informed our group here that most of the town had been abandoned. That with the threat of going on, most people had moved along, only leaving behind him and his family because his disfigurement prevented him from traveling very far. And of course, a number of hunters who still were working in the area and basically didn't want to leave their home. The hunters, of course, are not around right now. They're out in the woods. He gave permission for the people to use the inn. Before you settled into the inn, you checked out the mayor's house, discovered that there was strange things going on, discovered that there were tunnels under the city, or the village, that do seem to connect to a number of the houses. Built into earthenwork. So, that's where it kind of is. There's something weird going on, people are gone, and then there's the weird tunnels, which could be connected to the city, you don't know when they were made. But anyway, you kind of left the tunnels, came back out, settled in, and now you're going to the dinner you were invited to with Gregor.
Mm-hmm. And yeah, there really is something strange going on, and it's Eskret pulling up every plank of the floor of the mayor's manor.
Mm-hmm. Now look, he may have discovered something. What? I don't know. But he might have discovered something. He might have discovered some loose change that was underneath those floorboards that someone had dropped there while they were being made.
You should give him a silver for it.
Anyway. So, what is everybody taking with you to this man's house?
Clothes on my back.
Probably just for safety, because we are in a dangerous area. My sword.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Also, is the reason Talas' image isn't showing up anymore?
I don't know what happened to it. It's not on my character sheet anymore.
That's weird.
I don't know. We'll deal with it. It's fine.
We'll deal with it. Look,
it's not a problem.
It very well could have been something with the Pathfinder, because the Pathfinder 2e, the remaster stuff in Foundry has been having some updates. Maybe one of the updates broke something. I've been trying to monitor it and trying to do it a little bit. Who knows? Yay! Updates are both good and bad! Anyway.
Yeah, I mean, it's possible that, wherever you put it got overwritten. The place you put it in probably wasn't a good image location, so it got overwritten. Although I think Momo, you can upload it too. I don't know.
I'll deal with it at some
Great.
point.
Alright, so, the inn, certainly speaking, is a small area. As I kind of described it before, it is both a tavern. It is the usual kind of tavern, food area, and inn that you find a lot of places with a couple of rooms upstairs. But in this case, there is no upstairs. It is a one-room area or one-floor area, and basically there's a back area with a couple of basically like four rooms that you could use to stay. The area behind the bar has a selection of alcohol. It's not a great one. You've seen plenty better back in Birchlings, if any of you went to the tavern there. And it does seem as though the entire area is just abandoned. Other rooms. So you can easily take some of the rooms and settle in. Once you are done settling in, it does not take you long to head over to Gregor's place. My question to all of you then is, who is leading the way and who's going to knock on the door, so to say?
That's an excellent question. Who would knock on the door? I feel like I would.
Okay.
As the old man of the party.
Yeah. You can approach the house that he designated. You can actually see that there is some smoke coming from the chimney. This was not earlier. So certainly speaking, you hadn't seen any smoke from any of the chimneys in here earlier. It's obvious there's a fire at least now. Knocking on the door, the man, Gregor, will open the door. Well, good to see that you're here. Sorry about earlier, but I did not trust that anybody coming from the south wouldn't be bandits or narwhals coming out this way. You can actually see now he's a little dressed down than he was. It seems as though he's removed, something of his outer cloak and stuff like that, so he's still, in his outfit, but, some of the layers have removed. And you can now kind of see that, one side of his throat looks like it's got, a bone sticking out in, a weird way that's kind of stretching his skin. That's just, he's got, really big problems that you're like, that's just pleasant, Don't pay attention to the weird bone sticking out of his side of his neck,
That's
well, I guess come in then. I'll introduce you to my wife's daughter. He'll kind of turn around, kind of shuffle in, to very similar to that first house you entered. It looks to be a one-room house. Most of these houses are around the same size. They're not quite built the same. This one seems to be very similar to the last one, though, generally speaking, with 3 small rooms off the side, one main room where a lot of things are. Walking into the main room where you can see a table set up, where there seems to be a number of extra chairs brought up. You can see there seems to be someone cooking at a cooking pot. As you approach, as you kind of enter in there, she turns around. She looks like a perfectly fine and normal-looking human woman. She's maybe not super pretty, maybe a little homely, doesn't keep herself up for appearances, maybe a little bit more, older, but relatively nice looking, in general, as she kind of goes, oh, hello, greetings. As she kind of gives this smile and kind of looks at you. This is Alish, my wife, who's cooking stew for us.
Well, it's a very, nobly, a very proper bow of respect.
Mm-hmm.
I also bow.
She'll kind of give a very wide smile and kind of shake her head and then turn around and continue cooking. Talas, you will feel a tugging at your pants.
Okay.
You will see that there is a small child staring up at you, with very wide eyes and kind of a very large smile that's a little weird. And she's holding what looks to be a doll, except the doll looks like part of its neck got ripped a little bit, and it's just still kind of attached, so it kind of flops around a little bit. As she's gonna kind of go like,
Mhm. Hello
"That's
there.
my daughter, Grace. Grace, be good dear. Don't bother our guests.
Can you say that without the accent?
Grace, be a good dear. Don't bother our
Grace.
guests."
Okay. No. I just meant the name, to be honest.
sorry.
I just wanted to know her name.
Okay. I'll put the names here in the chat. Reese and Grace. Okay. She'll kind of like start turning and walking around, kind of like watch the lot of you for like a minute before she goes over to a corner where she has a number of very beat up other toys that she seems to kind of play with, and she's kind of playing with the doll as its partially broken head flops about a little bit.
Oh, kind of follow after her.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I'm kind of curious. Do you want me to fix that for you?
She's just gonna like look at you with this look that a child finding a new stuffed toy.
Oh, I kind of actually saw that coming, but
she's gonna start reaching out to you. Leave him alone, Grace. She's gonna kind of like, she's still got that kind of like a little bit like very like pushed smile as you kind of you'll see it kind of go back a little bit, but then be like kind of smile again, and you can tell she's thinking something a little like mischievous.
okay.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna just leave then. She hasn't responded. I'm gonna just be like, okay.
Please sit down. As he's gonna kind of like move one chair out the end of the table out and kind of like get into it, kind of adjusting his body because it doesn't like quite work right with his like misshapen limbs and such. Joining him at the table?
Yeah, I will.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I didn't realize I was on mute.
Ah. Mm-hmm. Muted, and if you said anything proper, I would not know.
I did say I did a small bow to the wife.
Okay. Alright. The table is pretty simple, wooden table. It looks a lot like as I said, the other room there. You can see Elise is just working on cooking on a number of things and preparing stuff. As Gregor will kind of tap his longer arm's fingers on the table. As his much shorter, kind of like scrawnier arm kind of like scratches his chest a little bit here too. Kind of almost claw-like. So, what business do you really have with us?
As we said before, we were simply concerned since there hadn't been any word from the village.
Well, you've seen why. Heard some noises coming from over in your area. Is everything okay?
Yeah. Actually, I wanted to ask how long people have been. Well, when did people start leaving? How long ago?
Village has always been small. Mostly the hunters, few loggers from south, and of course a few herbalists who look to the forest nearby, or the swamps to the north across the border. Not many folks come this way. So it's always been small. Of course, that doesn't mean aren't people that come and go. When the logging threw up some decades ago, a number left there. Of course, in more recent years, threats that were coming in caused a number to withdraw deeper into the country. So, farther into our ranch. So it's been a gradual thing for most of my life.
You know, okay, actually, something I'm curious about, out of character.
Mm-hmm.
Like, would we have been receiving refugees in the town from, in the other town?
Yes and no. Certainly speaking, you did get a lot of influx when the logging industry shut down, but that was like a few decades ago, basically, at this point in time. The major logging industries shut down here. Some minor logging industries continued as what was needed, but a lot of the stuff that was being shipped, because a lot of woods from this area had some certain types of trees that were very good, and you were shipping them across the continent for certain places. You basically have it's like, if you have like cherry trees and everybody wants cherry wood because it's very good for like certain types of furniture and stuff like that. It's something like that. There are woods, there are trees that were in this area that were like that, and that's why other than it was a good forest for logging, that's one of the major reasons that it became. And using the shipments on the rivers was good. After the one half of the continent was destroyed, that institution kind of fell apart very heavily. So logging industry shrunk a lot a few decades ago, and a lot of people came in and left. Not everybody. There were still a lot of hunting villages and stuff. But major refugees from the north? No, you really haven't had a lot. Or no one that's talked about coming from the north,
Okay.
Most of the refugees you have now in your city probably come from other lands, basically, rather than region.
Okay. Ixbanor would ask, so when did the last person leave that you remember?
I believe the mayor left a few months back. As far as I know, he was the last. He wanted to stay to the end. Age was getting to him. Being old does not help. He'll kind of give it I can't do the laugh because it's like there's something a little odd about the way he laughs because it just messes with his physiology. It kind of he does this it's very creepy. Yeah, he kind of laughs a little bit and he's like, I would have gone myself. My condition is probably worse than age. I cannot drag myself around like that.
Is there a reason why he didn't send word of the town evacuation?
I cannot say. I merely said I would stay and watch. As long as the hunters remain. Of course, I could do it. If I would have set family. But at this point in time, Elise will turn around and go, but we insisted we would stay. Our place is here. With
Okay.
All seems perfectly reasonable to me.
Where do all of you hail from? You are an unusual lot.
Insert name of capital city.
Avanswell.
Get out.
Yeah. Well, I've been recently living in the Birchlings.
I have moved so many times in my life, I don't think I really have a home.
I mean no offense, but say for your kind. He's going to point to you, Talas. I have not seen any of your likes in these lands before.
There's not many of my kind left.
They say, at least the children used to say, that my father was a cross between an elf, an orc, and a rat. I do not know if that's true, but regardless, my mother gave birth to me.
I wish Eskret was here for that one. Eskret, is this part family?
He will act very high and mighty as the lord he is, and basically still be polite about now and doesn't recall anybody fellows in his lineage.
Mm-hmm. Man, I want a DNA test potion. Put a drop of blood in here, and it will tell me
How
you're
long
related to.
do you plan to stay?
Most likely only a day or two. We need to head back and report that this city is mostly abandoned, or this town is mostly abandoned.
Should I tell the hunters anything?
Well, I mean, if they're back before we leave, it'd be good to talk to them.
I do not know if they would.
I mean, it might be worth sticking around to talk to the hunters, see what they've seen out there.
True.
Especially with what we ran into already.
So I could not treat you to dinner every night. You are free to use the inn. Just be careful. And stay inside at night. I could not stop if a bear wandered into town. I can only guard during the day. And if there are other creatures, like you say, it might be safe.
Understood. I also know my way around nature, though, and I can gather supplies for us to survive here.
Elise will start placing out a number of bowls for everybody. You'll see the young girl Grace at the side of the bowls, kind of like put down her dolls. Which you'll note that it looks as though it looks like the doll with the kind of loose head. You're pretty sure has beat up, maybe defeated, maybe killed a bunch of other dolls, it looks like, and whatever she was playing out.
Understandable. Normal behavior.
Honestly, that is normal behavior for a child.
Yeah, it's very typical.
Uh-huh. Mm-hmm. She'll kind of just put her doll down, kind of like on top of the rest of them, kind of laying down, so it's kind of sitting on it, like she's sitting on a pile of her defeated enemies. The doll is that she seems to favor. As she'll kind of move over and kind of pull her chair out and climb up on top of it and put clues. You think Grace is probably like 6 or 7, maybe?
Okay.
So fairly young.
Okay. That's a little older than I was originally thinking. I was thinking like 4.
Mm-hmm. Could be a little big for her age, too. You never know. Anyway. The stew will be kind of ladled out then, which looks to be, as you're looking at it, a bunch of, like, root vegetables, local plants, some mushrooms, and you're pretty sure, like, deer scraps? Yeah. So, like, it looks as though she specifically takes the time out to ladle into, your bowl, Ixbanor. It looks like a hoof.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Ah, home cooking. Eat up.
Thank you.
They'll also serve some, like, water in a jug, in some glasses, So, from local well. To drink up to. You need shopping harder. For to retrieve it from the inn.
Thank you very much for your hospitality.
Yes.
I eat the food
Same.
politely.
It's not bad. It's not great either. Certainly speaking, you've had plenty better. But again, it's edible and doesn't taste terrible. It definitely feels like it's like deer scraps and, very rough vegetables, very rough root vegetables and stuff like that. It is rustic.
It's
Rustic
not
is the
like
word.
that they have a thriving market here.
Yeah.
It looks rustic, it tastes rustic, and it certainly feels rustic in your stomach.
Tastes rural.
Tastes very rural. After the meal, Elise will begin to clean up, and Grace will return back to her playing. Once again giving this mischievous glance to Ixbanor.
I'm going to do something.
Mm-hmm.
Does she look like she's having like the things fight again?
No. At this point in time, you're fairly certain the other dolls in her game are indeed dead. It looks as though her doll is now beginning to hide the bodies.
That's not creepy.
No, this is also still normal child behavior.
I feel like there's a few more warning signs here, but it's still within the realms.
Yeah, no,
of
this
just,
is still mostly okay.
This is still mostly okay. I will say, having some experience here too.
Yeah,
But I am
she just her doll just killed everyone, and I
True
was
crime
hiding bodies
is a
in a
very
town that everyone's disappeared. I was going to try to actually do something, but maybe not now.
I may be presenting this as close to creepy as possible because it's on purpose, but thank you.
I was going to cast Figment to give her doll something to fight, but
yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there is also a point to be made that, like, this also could, like, the reason it's slightly worrying isn't because I'm, like, worried about the child as much as it's like, okay, maybe the child has seen something, because there's, like, a thing where it's, like, mimicking, I forget what it's called, like, where it's, like, they mime out things that they've seen.
Yeah,
anyway.
That's what I'm thinking, too.
Yeah.
Feel free to stay for a bit. But if you'd wish to stay later, one of you will have to grab a bottle from the inn.
Ooh. Actually, I have an idea.
Mm-hmm.
I am going to cast Figment.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to make a Figment representation of the town.
Mm-hmm.
For her to be, for her doll and stuff to play in. And kind of see where the bodies get hidden.
So, you create this figment of the town, She is enamored by this and kind of like poking it and kind of investigating it. It's no longer she's trying to play with it. She is just like gobsmacked by whatever you've done. It looks as though. And now, like, you'll see her kind of like turn towards you and kind of get this kind of interesting wry smile that looks a lot like the smile she was giving towards Ixbanor.
Yeah.
Child's a demon.
I figured it would be something better to play with.
I don't think many of us here see magic on a daily basis. Quite rare.
It's just a small illusion. Nothing to write home about.
Ever since the Scytherian college was destroyed, I think magic has been dying out a little bit.
I need to know. Elise will kind of like, as she's kind of cleaning the dishes and kind of like speak up, I believe there was a medicine woman here who used to practice strange spells. I don't remember when she left. Can't say myself. Hard to keep track of everybody, even with a small town, with all the comings and goings of the hunters over the town. Well, you're not grabbing that bottle, and we'll have to ask you to head out. It's almost time for rest.
Understood.
If there is anything you may ask me, please do so. I will help as best I can while you are here, but please do not cause trouble for us.
Wouldn't imagine.
We're just here to observe and then report back after we learn what's going on here, or what happened here. Or
Hopefully
talk to the hunters, see if there's been any strange activities out where they've been in their hunting grounds.
We'll have to wait for them to return.
Yes.
Good luck. He'll escort you out his house, and allow you to return back to the inn, or whatever else you want to do. I mean, he'll close the door as it's become evening now. Not quite night.
I'm going to make note. Directions that we have, like general directions that we take to get back. Because I want to go back underground and see if there is a path to his house.
We already determined that there wasn't last time, if I remember correctly.
Oh,
you looked in the area you thought it was, and you didn't see it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I might just double check now that we actually have been to the house.
Sure.
Okay.
Might have a better.
You give me another perception. I'll say since you've had some time lay of land, you can take a look. Head down there. Everybody else going with Umbrin or doing something else?
Just to not split the party, I'll go with Umbrin. Just right.
Okay. You'll kind of take a look around. Again, there doesn't really be any kind of sign of a offshoot or any kind of like tunnel or anything like that. It just looks to be dirt in that area. So it does look like that house at least doesn't have it. And again, it does seem as though like maybe half the houses have this, maybe a few more. Like half to 2/3 of the houses have like entrances to here.
I think we should get. I'm sorry.
It doesn't seem like it.
Gotcha. I think we should get rest tonight and try to thoroughly check out these tunnels tomorrow. What the little girl was doing with the bodies.
I mean, I'm not that worried about that, but I mean, something did go on here.
There's more than he's letting on, and the fact that I don't like the look she was giving either of us, and the fact that she had her doll kill everyone. Fine, that kids play like that. But then hiding the bodies afterwards seems like something maybe they witnessed, not just came up with.
It's possible. Something to think about, but I'm not like convinced.
I definitely think there's more to find out in this place.
Well, you can certainly head to Interest. You remember from your scouting out that it does appear that out of the village there's directions north, south, and east from this network of tunnels.
Right.
So if you
I
wanted to
was
check one out,
thinking first thing to do would be maybe to see, one, could we even enter any of the homes that is attached to these? And if so, try to give like a precursory, go through each house and just see if there's any other signs of either that weird alchemical thing or any bodies somewhere.
Okay. Then we can say you can rest for the night, since it sounds like you want to settle down. Are you all getting your own rooms, since there are enough rooms for each of you?
I think we should stick together just in case.
Yeah.
Is there any like common room?
No, unfortunately, because this area is not too big, it looks like they weren't planning for like major amounts of guests. It looks like there's just 4 small rooms that are, they're not big. They've got like a bed and probably like a couple things, accoutrements, but not a lot. It's very simple, like in rooms. They don't even have like windows or anything. Well, 2 of them have windows because they're on the outside. The other 2 do not.
I say we just bivouac in the main room then.
You could easily move some tables out of the way and set up a little campsite there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And just to be on the cautious side, I am going to I'm sure there's like pots and pans in here somewhere.
Sure. There's a little kitchen area. It was like a tavern and inn, probably a place for guests, maybe a common area for people that want to come in and hang out. So there's a little kitchen area. Yeah.
I'm going to take some pots and pans, tie them to my rope, and tie it to like a table on either side of the doors.
Okay.
And set that up there, just in case someone tries to enter through the main door.
Okay. It was kind of like set a little like noise trap in the main door. Right.
Yeah. I also have an odd thought. I want to climb. I want to climb a tree, like the tallest tree I can find. Climb to the top, pull out my spyglass, and look around or look around first, and then kind of zoom in maybe if I feel like I need to. And just basically see, do I see smoke in the distance? Do I see like I'm kind of like, if the hunters are camping, there's got to be smoke somewhere. Then again,
it is
like
night, so it might be hard to see.
Yes.
I'll tell you, there's a little bit of moonlight, so you can see a little bit. Give me a perception. This might be pretty difficult.
Yeah.
We'll see what you roll. See what you get.
Yeah. If I'm gonna be honest, I'll also do it at dawn because that's probably gonna be.
Yeah,
Oh, sorry. That's because
Might
that's
be
probably gonna be
making breakfast or something.
Yeah. Where's skills? There's skills. Is perception here? Oh no.
No, it's on the left side on your main page. Is perception. Right under AC.
Okay, I'll do it from Okay.
Okay, you kind of take a look
that
around,
was bad.
but being kind of like night, being like evening into nighttime when you're kind of like finally like checking this out, you don't really see any signs as far as you can tell, but the trees here are pretty decent height, and though the forest isn't like the most dense forest, it's dense enough that might be hiding something a little bit. You're not getting any like it could easily be dissipated by like some of the trees and heading up through there. Then you're not getting any good wafts of smoke, especially if it's just a small campfire. Things might be hidden by the situations. At most, since it's still not quite night, there does seem to be like something you didn't know about to the north, but you can't quite tell what it is. Some kind of like rock area to the north. You can only guess it is. It does seem to be some kind of natural feature of the forest that sticks out of the trees.
Okay.
But it's quite a ways to the north. But again, like, because even in the darkness here, low light, it sticks out. Yeah. Not difficult to see. Alright. You can spend a night.
You said to the north, right?
To the north, yes.
Mm-hmm.
The night will be uneventful. At least no one will be woken up. Were you taking shifts? I'm just going to ask about that. Or are you all going to try to get sleep?
Do we want to take shifts?
I mean, I think we set up a little trap, which I honestly think is fine.
We set up like a tripwire thingy.
Yeah, just to make
drop
noise,
some stuff to make noise.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, that's what I did in front of the door.
You can probably do that to any other area that has a theoretical entrance to it.
Yeah.
Because there is a door in the back that leads into the kitchen area. And plus there is some windows in like the bedrooms or something like that. There are ways to get inside into the front door, but again, those are more difficult.
Yeah. I mean, I'm more worried about the dude doing something, and I don't think he's as agile to climb through a window as to try to sneak in a door.
You're not wrong. He is not very agile. Alright. So the night passes. It's fine. And you can awaken in the morning to, some... It sounds like a very unusual bird making a crowing noise. Sounds like a very large bird, too. You don't hear any, like, songbirds or anything like that. Again, there is a little bit of quietness to this place. It's not completely quiet. You still hear, like, even the insects, you did hear some at night. Not quite as many as, like, you think you should hear.
Can I make a nature check to see if I can identify the sound?
Sure. You're not quite sure what kind of bird it is.
I've rolled a 3 and a 4.
I'll give you... It sounds like some kind of predatory bird. Maybe some kind of raptor. Maybe eagle. Something like that kind of stuff. Eagle, falcon, hawk, It kind of sounded similar to that, but it was a little weird. But again, you're not sure about birds in this area. You can't remember any of that, would stand out as a call like that.
Definitely some kind of predatory bird, but I don't know what.
It's probably nothing. Although, do keep an eye out. I don't want to be I don't want anything swooping down and snatching me up.
You might want to be extra careful.
I don't know what you're talking about. The tiny ferret is perfectly safe from anything out there.
Mm-hmm. For sure.
Just see like an eagle.
100%.
The eagle swooped down, just like carrying all. And all of a sudden, Ixbanor's caught.
Just...
Hey, hide the chicks for me.
What are you doing this morning? I think, Ixbanor, you said you were going to go up and see about
so I'm going to climb
again.
up and see. Yeah, now that it's like day, I'm going to see if I can see the remnants of smoke. Maybe of like a camp of one of the hunters.
You give me a perception again, and then Umbrin, Talas, what are the two of you doing? While
I'll start on something for us to eat for breakfast.
Okay, you can certainly use their kitchen there. It's perfectly fine.
It's still not great though.
You can take another look around, and you don't really see any signs of any kind of fires going or currently going or not. There's a little bit of like mist hanging in the air, so maybe that's kind of like like above the treetops a little bit. So that might be blocking view a little bit. But you can again see that it looks to be like some kind of like strange rock formation that seems to be sticking out of the forest. The forest is not flat, but it's flat enough that this does seem to like stick out as like the highest thing in the nearby region. And you can still see that now. You can see it's like covered in green, and there may be like a couple of trees sticking out of it, but it does seem to be like a landmark.
Okay.
So, hey, you can rejoin the others back down for some simple breakfast. I guess, are you making it out of rations, or are you going to scrounge something together?
Let me do a quick survival. See if I
Sure.
can dig up some
I'm
stuff
down.
better than just some rations.
Alright.
Not horrible.
I'll
I
say,
could roll a
for
bubble.
now, you can make do to throw some things together. Most of what you're going to get is probably stuff from some of the overgrown gardens and stuff in the area that are probably not being attended to. So
Yeah.
you basically, you really aren't going far. You're basically like identifying like some of the areas nearby. Oh, there's some things over here. There's some things over there. So it's a very like vegetable herby meal that you can have for breakfast.
Mm-hmm.
That's fine.
Oh wait, no, I didn't want to eat that one. Dang it.
Mm-hmm.
Because I have 2 rations. One are my size, and the other are not. Anyway.
What, you don't want my breakfast?
It's the ultimate vegetarian meal.
Yes.
It's
I might be able to find some grubs.
So, what are people doing today?
I do find it fun that there's like buttons like that, and you can just click the button on the rations to say eat one. Because that's the thing. If he's assuming he succeeded at scrounging, you only can scrounge for 1 person unless you get a critical, in which you can scrounge for 2.
Yeah, true.
So you're only saving your own ration.
Yeah. I think I will just walk around the town.
Sure.
Kind of take note of like, is there any like disturbances or anything?
Sure.
If we're thinking like this kid was playing pretend to hide bodies that they've seen be hid.
I mean, I'll walk around with you. I'm not going to leave you alone. I think we all should stick together.
Mm-hmm. At least in groups of 2.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, right now, Eskret's passed out. They're very tired from pulling up all the floorboards, so...
Look, Eskret is there as much as Eskret needs to be there, which probably is just enough. Alright. I guess I will need, you could give me, certainly speaking, perception, though there are probably a couple other... There's probably other couple of skills that would be appropriate. I just will say, let me know if you want to try using something else while looking around the area.
I don't think I have. Well, I could argue for survival for looking for disturbances outside of like dragging marks and stuff.
Yeah, I'd be fine with survival.
I'll roll a survival.
I'll do perception. It's my best one.
It's a 19.
Roll above a 10. Yes.
10. So, Talas, as you're taking a look around, certainly speaking, there isn't a lot of signs of any kind of tracks. You find no signs of any tracks. But you do see signs in this kind of one area, kind of like a little like nearby to one of the houses.
Okay.
On the far edge of town. That seems to be marks of like footprints.
I'll make
theoretically, they should be relatively, maybe not like fresh, but like probably within at most a week. You can't recall any like major rainstorms up until that time, but there could have been like so before then you think it would have been washed away by the rain theoretically, right? Because this doesn't look like fully protected in this area here. But yeah. So sometime within the last week, someone walked through here, and they do seem. I will tell you, you're cutting out that this is not Gregor. Gregor, you found signs of his tracks. He does leave some around the area. He has very unique, distinct tracks.
Okay.
Being his, weird gait and misshapen limbs and stuff like that. Umbrin, you're gonna kind of take a look around. And for the most part, most buildings seem just kind of like they are. Kind of peering in windows, everything looks abandoned. But you begin to kind of notice there are little, like, things that seem unusual in this village. Little marks of, like... At first you kind of pass them off as little marks of, like, damage to various buildings. That's a very simple piece of it. Kind of like that door that was damaged in the first building you came to. But there are more things like that. There's, like, little, like, pieces of damage to houses here that, the more you're thinking of it, these kind of things should have been noticed and fixed. And there seems to be a lot of, like, little things like this spread out around the place.
Like someone broke into places.
Maybe? But, like, if it was someone breaking in, they would have been very good about breaking in and hiding. It's like, this just seems like unusual damage. Could have been breaking in. I'm not saying it couldn't be. But, you know, it is incredibly subtle. If it is breaking in. And you can't even you can't tell it's breaking in 100%. Is what I'm saying.
I think we should also check through these tunnels.
Assume you meet back up with Ixbanor.
Yeah.
Eskret.
I want to like find a I want to like keep track of like which houses look like they were broken into and which weren't, and
Sure.
cross-reference that with the tunnels.
Okay. Alright, that'll take you a little while to do, but you can definitely do that. Kind of make note of which the houses have the unusual bits of damage, which usually seems to be damage to like a window, a door, kind of things like that. Little places that are a little bit of unusualness, like a board on the side of a house that definitely looks like, man, that would let a lot of things in. That's a lot of damage right there. You know, like it should have been fixed. You know, something like that. Not enough for a person to get into necessarily, but it is an unusual bit of damage. You know, like that's kind of weird. It seems as though not all of the houses have the tunnels, but the majority of them do connect with the tunnels. Greater percentage than the buildings are here. Like I said, about like 2/3 of the houses have the connections to the tunnels. I would say about of the buildings that are damaged, like 9 out of 10 are tunnel ones.
Okay. Are there any that don't have damage that all have a tunnel?
Are there any that don't have damage that don't have a tunnel?
No, that don't have damage but have a tunnel.
Yeah, don't have damage but have a tunnel.
Yeah, because you said 9 out of 10. So
9 out of 10. 9 out of 10 of the damaged houses are tunnel.
Okay, maybe I should. And are there any? Okay, and are there any damaged houses that have tunnels?
Yes, there are damaged houses that have tunnels. Is what I basically would say. 9 out of 10. Okay,
my
okay.
brain is.
I'm sorry.
Are there
take a
any
step back. Take
damaged
a
houses
step back.
that don't have tunnels?
Yeah, take a step back. I will say here, of all the first off, just to clarify, of all the houses that are damaged, majority of them, 9 out of 10 of them, have the tunnel connection. Of the houses that have tunnels, there are only 2 that aren't damaged.
Okay.
So there is, in fact, a lot of this little bit of damage around town in a lot of ways. Maybe over half buildings have something like this.
Okay.
Well, over half buildings would have something like this. But again, it's like 3-4 dozen buildings spread out over a pretty decent area. So yeah, 2 buildings that connect up. One, I will tell you, is the Mayor's Manor. It was known as signs, like you were thinking, on the Mayor's Manor. Another one is just a house that seems to be on the far northeastern edge of town, like kind of on the outskirts of it. This would have been the one that's actually pretty close to where the northern tunnel takes it outside the town network. And this one does not seem to have any of that damage on it, but has a tunnel. However,
Okay, that's definitely one we want to look into a little bit more. The second one that doesn't have damage, but has a tunnel.
no,
No, we want to go into the tunnels and investigate. So, and you said you saw something, a landmark up north. That one's towards the north anyway, so we could check that house and then continue the tunnels north out of town and see if it leads towards what you saw.
Yeah, that works. I mean, if yeah.
okay. You can head to that house. This house seems about half the size of the houses you've seen. So it's a little bit small. It's a smaller house. It seems to be just a one-room house. As you kind of look at it, 2 windows and a door. One window on the front next to the door, and it looks like a window on the back.
Can we try to enter through the tunnel?
If you want to, you can.
Probably
That way
the
we don't-
best bet.
Yeah, we don't have to damage anything, and
Don't risk being seen either.
exactly.
So I will need someone to roll me strength, or I'll say athletics, actually. Athletics to try to get
I
the
can pull that.
trapdoor.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I think I'd look over at you, because,
I'm buff.
Okay, so as you kind of first off, probably Umbrin, you try to mess with the trapdoor. Seems to be there's something on top of it. Talas gets up there and kind of you push it up enough. You do manage to not fling everything up, but you kind of push things enough that you can kind of slide things off of there. There's some noise because things are kind of falling off the trapdoor, nonetheless. But you'll be able to get it open relatively easily, relatively quietly. You're not making a huge amount of noise, but you are dumping things off from the top of a trapdoor. In the end, so it's not perfect. But you can find yourself in a one-room house that seems to have a simple kitchen setup that dominates a big portion of it, with a large fireplace with a massive cauldron, twice the size of the cauldrons you've seen so far. There's a bed in here, a small, simple circular table with one chair. It is definitely a one-room house. You can see that the one wall is lined with, above the bed, hanging various kinds of plants that have been dried.
Elise did mention that there was a medicine woman. Maybe this was her house?
I'll tell you, Ixbanor, you're an alchemist. It looks like something that someone would deal with herbs and, herbal medicine / simple alchemy that is used in that would use. The alchemist screams that, yeah, that makes sense.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
I have a question. Can I loot the herbs?
Sure.
I mean, we can just say that is a certain amount of money towards potions.
Yeah. It does seem as though a good portion of the herbs probably are a little outdated for the stuff she gathered. It was hung up, should have been used, or should have been preserved better after being dried.
Okay.
But there are some that are basically you can take. So let's say you can probably get 10 silver worth of materials towards some potions.
Not amazing, but not terrible.
Yeah, I think that's okay for very simple potions.
I mean, the lowest potion is 12 gold, I think.
That's in more. Then let's say 5 gold. I'll give you that much. I can't remember how much the potions for alchemy cost at all off the top of my head.
I'm gonna open up the cauldron and see if there's anything inside.
The cauldron has no top to it and is empty. There does seem to be some kind of residue in there, but you're not sure if that was from the last time it was cooked or it was left behind when the place was no longer used. You can't tell when the residue is from, but there is some kind of residue.
Ixbanor,
Mm-hmm.
could you tell if this was anything similar to the alchemical stuff that we had found on the floor?
Oh, yeah. Okay, I can test that.
Sure.
So this is inside the cauldron, you said?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, let's... do you want me to roll, or what?
Yeah. Roll me your alchemy skill, your crafting skill.
That's crafting, yeah.
You kind of take a look at it, and
Oh my gosh!
you're not
I'm
really
rolling
sure
terrible today.
what it is that's in there, but I will give you at very least, it doesn't seem like the other, but again, like, it's hard to tell, because, it's in a cauldron that's probably used for cooking a lot of things in the past, so it might have other residues mixing in here, and also, like, you don't see any obvious signs of, like before you saw, like, it looked like blood was mixed in. You can't see signs of that here. So it's like, you don't think it's the same, but you're, like, maybe, like, 50% sure. Your tests were somewhat inconclusive, not completely inconclusive.
Talas, could you help me move this cauldron?
Of course, I will assist in moving the cauldron.
Sure. It's big. It's a big iron cauldron. As I said, twice the size of, like, the cooking cauldrons you've seen so far in town. But the two of you are very easily able to move. What are you doing with it?
I just want to sit it down and check the fireplace itself.
Okay. Sure. Why don't you give me a perception on the fireplace then?
Sure.
Alright, you'll take a look
Jesus
around.
Christ.
We've been rolling terrible today.
Upsetting.
Yeah.
We've been rolling terrible almost every session.
So, you certainly won't find a lot in there. You can see, like, some old ashes, some old partially burnt pieces of wood that look like, the fire was let to go out at some point in time. There does seem to be something a little unusual in there, but it looks as though maybe, like, some kind of paper was used in the last fire. Which is unusual. Paper is a little more expensive. It's probably more in this area than, like, in town, certainly. But, yeah, no, it looks like somebody burnt something in here. But it's too burnt to see what it is.
Yeah. This is unusual. Someone purposely, I think, burnt something here.
Perhaps evidence.
Documents?
Unfortunately, it's too damaged to tell.
Tragic.
I guess just do a once-over of the house, see if there's anything else of interest or anything that sticks out.
Okay. I guess you can give me another perception check. I guess you search the rest of the house.
Yeah.
I'll let you do that.
Might as well be thorough while
Yeah.
we're in here.
Yeah, how do I roll perception again?
It's right under the AC, the little die.
Okay.
Hell yeah, it's a 9.
Yeah. So, Talas, certainly you take a look around. And...
I'm busy being an old man.
Yeah. Nothing really stands out too heavy for you. The one thing that you will notice, even with that lower roll there too, there are some things you will still see.
Okay.
But the thing that you see is, like, this one's, like, noticeable because there are a lot of things in here that look as though if someone left, why didn't they take this? That kind of stuff. Like, there seems to be, like, a lot of little knickknacks in here and stuff like that. Now, granted, if someone was leaving very quickly, makes sense. But, yeah, that's kind of weird that, like, a lot of, like, little personal things still seem to be in here. Again, maybe they didn't have enough space. Still, a little unusual. Not 100%. Umbrin, you and Ixbanor are kind of looking around. And you both will kind of note that, too. That, like, I guess that's kind of unusual. She left that. I guess maybe she didn't have a carry weight, didn't help. That's the one thing. Left in a hurry. That's kind of weird. You think these little things she would take. That's in your minds, too. But the two of you will then note something a little bit strange that will be like, it'll take you like a minute, and basically, both of you will kind of like smell something a little weird over near the bed. And turning up the top blanket, reveal an odd-looking stain in the center of the bed.
Does the stain look familiar?
It looks familiar. And has just the slightest tinge of a similar smelling chemical smell that I think I talked about before.
Yep.
Very slight.
Yeah.
Interesting.
With it being a different material, do you think you could get anything more out of it?
Well, the bed
Maybe
should
this is
certainly
more
be
fresh?
more absorbent.
It would definitely be more absorbent.
Oh no, it's watching us!
It's a mimic
floor.
bed.
Okay. Can I do it? Can I check again then?
Sure, you can check this here. Make your crafting check.
Fuck
All right,
me.
You will take a sample of it, but unfortunately it looks as though the material of the bed has just soaked in this stuff. But not only soaked in this stuff, it seems as though, what you can guess is, because whoever was using this bed, a lot of alchemy and chemicals, a lot of it's soaked in here. You're getting like a big waft of this here, and by kind of looking at it, you're guessing it's something similar, but you can't get any information. It just is so unusual.
One day I will roll well on an important check.
There technically wasn't a critical failure for that one, so you're lucky that that one didn't make it worse.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, because technically it's a... Oh yeah,
You kind of had already identified it. You were just kind of trying to get more information on it. So
yeah.
It definitely
Really
the stain is decent sized. Doesn't completely fill the bed, but it's like, pretty decent sized stain in the middle.
Is there any kind of alchemical substance that you could know of that could dissolve a person?
I assume acid.
I was about to say
that wouldn't eat
I've
away.
read this
anything
book called
else.
Breaking Bad.
Yeah, that wouldn't eat everything else that it was touching as well.
I mean, maybe a trained slime?
That's actually an interesting possibility, though I'm not sure anyone here would be able to train a slime.
Who knows what the Dread Army might have?
I somehow think it's not the Dread Armies.
Could be in League, though. Well, I guess we're not going to find anything else of use here. Should we follow the tunnel north?
Well, the tunnel that goes north ends here. We're gonna go out.
He said it goes out of the village. The tunnel does go out of the village.
Yes, I said the tunnel goes out.
Oh, okay.
That's why we're going to continue down the tunnel after this house.
Basically,
See where
what I
it
said
leads
is there's this network of tunnels that seems to kind of cover under the village. And there seems to be two large tunnels that go outside the borders. There were three tunnels that go outside the borders of the village. One to the north, one to the south, one to the east. You kind of discover that in your kind of exploration, because you're like, oh, this is like, kind of like checking out the buildings and stuff. You're like, oh, this is one edge of the building. This seems to go further and further from here. Like, this northeast corner is pretty much at the edge of the village. There's a tunnel nearby to this corner that keeps going.
Yeah. Okay, yeah, so we'll follow the tunnel then.
All right.
Do we want to take our break here?
Yes, I was going to say, we're going to take our break here as you're going to take the direction to the northern way out of the village. So, Everybody out there, need a snack, break, not snack. I did forget to turn on the music for the area here. Oops. My bad. I had a bunch. But fine, I'll put it on when we get up. Snack, drink, bathroom break. We'll be back in a little bit. Right there. Get these here. And it goes back. And we're back! I'm going to hit this, because I'm remembering to hit... See, I missed out. We have this nice, town here, when you were exploring the town. And I had this little song here for when you were enjoying dinner date, too. You know, I missed out these songs. I forgot. But we'll do this one. This is the cabin music. Alright, so, you're heading north. What I want to do is we're going to do a little bit of thing, because these caverns are going to go on, and require a little bit of exploring. So what we're going to do is I want everybody to roll me a D20.
Okay.
So kind of be like an initiative for all of you. We're going to have to kind of set. So it'll be Umbrin, Talas, and Ixbanor. So what we're going to do is you have a couple of options on things that you can do while traveling along here. And depending on how much you take from it, there's kind of got to be a pool. We're going to have to go through the pool before we kind of go through again. So you will be allowed to discuss with each other what you end up kind of doing a little bit here. It's not just like anybody do things. But basically
Is this a maze mini game?
It is a little bit of a maze mini game, yes.
Yes! Sorry,
Okay.
I love these.
Yes. Anyway. As I was saying, you have a set that you're going to have to go through. And once you've gone through all of them, you then can recycle back around. So you do have to do all of them before you start doing more of them. So you're going to have to kind of determine which it is. Now, you do have an order right now. And there will be an extra option that's on top of this here. You can give up your action to give a bonus to someone else. But there's basically rounds. And the more rounds that go on, maybe some things happen. Maybe if there's a creature down here, it gets a little closer to you. Basically stuff like that. So you do have to be careful that maybe you want to be quick and expeditious down here in these caverns. That you're kind of be wandering around. Okay, cool. So, the 5... I'll put one more on here just because I had 5 down, but I just thought of another one that I wanted to do. So, there is Perception, Survival, Athletics, Stealth, Nature, and I will also have people roll me, let's say, a lore.
What kind of lore?
True. Actually, no. I want a 6th one, because I just looked at I had 5 written down before, and I wanted to get a 6th one, but I'm trying to think of a good 6th one that's out here. Because there's 3 of you.
Lore.
Yeah. I thought, you know what, we can stick with the 5. We can stick with the 5. We will just recycle, so basically you have to do all 5 before we get to the next one.
Okay.
And the object will be, you want to get successes. Depending on the skill, will be dependent on the basic difficulty of that skill. Some things will be a little bit easier than others, and the more checks that you have, the more success you have. Okay, cool, great. Anyway, basically, if you help someone else, rather than just the normal +1, I will allow them to basically roll like a D6 bonus. So a bit more of a swing bonus here. So that is also another reason we help everybody else. Failures will indicate perhaps reaching natural hazards or monsters getting closer to you. You won't get automatically 1, but you might encounter monsters. So we're going to be this is going to be like a little bit of a exploration mini game we're going to do. I kind of put this together yesterday into today. I'm going to see how it works. I might have to adjust this for stats. You know? Mm-hmm. Okay? Cool. Anyway. So, we have our order. Again, we can discuss this, but you should agree on the 3 that you're using right now. Umbrin, Talas, Ixbanor.
You said survival.
Perception, athletics, stealth, nature.
Well, I'm good at athletics and survival, and that's it. I'm not great at anything else.
I've got stealth and I guess perception, but still not amazing.
I mean, my best one is perception. I get a +10. Survival, I get a +8. Nature, I get a +8. Stealth, I get a +7.
Mm-hmm.
So that means
I do not have any athletics.
I literally have a +0 to athletics, so
I have
and
a
a +9 to
+1, and
stealth,
I'm
so-
untrained.
a +7 to stealth.
So there's success. There is success, failure, critical success here, just to note too.
Okay.
And critical failure too. So like there is states for all of them for your checks, and it would make a difference.
Okay, well, you and I
Yeah.
tie on stealth.
But it's also the only thing I'm like good at, which is a problem.
Right, well, I mean, you could take stealth then.
Yeah.
Definitely. Talas should take athletics.
So is that a +10, and I have a +7 survival.
Okay, and then what are you gonna take on?
Well, I'm going to be taking stealth at very least. Oh, me. I'm sorry. Umbrin.
Yeah, you're Umbrin, not Ixbanor. Ixbanor's
I
taking
got
stealth. Yeah, that's it. Okay.
I
You
What
have
do you pick?
nature?
I have an 8 in nature
Yeah, then you're the best.
and a 10 in perception.
But perception is the only other thing I'm good at. At a plus, hold on, let me look.
Yeah.
I want to say
Well,
plus.
with there being 5, it's
Plus
everyone's
6.
going to get 2 except for one person.
Well, rotating to the 5, we are going to reset them. So basically, next turn, when we get to Ixbanor,
I'm saying
they
for
can
the
choose
first turn.
anything. Yeah, for the first turn, you'll tick out 3, and then you will have to figure out who's doing the 2. So it might be a good idea to figure out who's doing who, and plan a little bit for next round, too. Who's going to be rolling? Like, if you take nature now, survival and perception would be open next turn.
Yeah, and I'm not going next turn, so you can do perception and
Again,
like
you
survival next turn.
Always
So-
give someone the extra d6, too.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's a good point. So
I guess
I think I'll
take
do stealth.
perception the first time around.
okay,
So go.
I'll do
So
stealth.
go ahead. You're going to do stealth, and Talas is doing athletics. So we'll start with Umbrin. Please roll me a perception check. See how you do. I'm going to tell you, I have set a standard difficulty for all of these, which will be 20. So you have
Well,
failed
I failed.
one. All right. So I want you to roll
I have
me.
a 50-50 chance to make it.
So please roll me a d6 right now. That's what it marks over here. So you rolled a 5. Okay. So, if you fail, now there's something different when you critically fail. But if you fail, I'm going to explain this as we go. You either have a chance of beginning to attract a monster or beginning to encounter a hazard. Basically, I'm going to say 5 monster ticks and 3 hazard ticks will hit them. Okay? Odd numbers on the d6 are monster. So, monsters draw closer. What are they? You don't know what's down here. So it'd be something tunneling. Alright. Now, next up on our list is, of course, Talas.
Okay. General athletics.
Yep.
Perfect.
Alright.
Alright, buttons rolled.
18. Please roll me a d6.
A D6.
Yep.
That's a D8. It's not a D6. Oh, get that.
Okay.
3.
Alright. Ixbanor.
Yes. I'm gonna do stealth.
Roll me stealth then. 22.
22.
All right. All right.
Finally a success.
So, you finally have a success with the stealth. So, just make sure that you roll your perception first, right? Yeah.
Yep.
All right. So now you also get a success towards your final goal of finding your way through here. But there is also the possibility of discovering something of value down in these tunnels. So I want you to basically, every time you have a success, you get to roll a d4. On a 4, you find something. There's a little bit bonus here. Let's see how it goes. So
Okay.
please, Ixbanor, roll me a d4. A 2. Alright, so you believe that you are going down the path a little bit nature. Basically, you've been kind of wandering a little bit as, as Umbrin's been kind of keeping an eye out, trying to find something, but it's kind of dark, kind of hard, and, Talas, you try to move out some material out of the way to, make sure some of the paths that have, little bits of boulders and stuff from partially collapsed tunnels out of the way. But Ixbanor, you've kind of been leading a little bit way, and making sure everybody stays quiet, just to make sure, maybe you hear something off the distance. It seems a little dangerous. But you are making some progress. Alright. So. Right. Next round. So, we start out with Umbrin, Talas, Ixbanor. You right now have survival and nature. So, Ixbanor, you can theoretically help one of them, but that would give up your turn early. So you are allowed to do that, because, this is all of you technically acting at once. We're just choosing kind of an order. Or you can kind of reset things after they've rolled, and choose anything.
Honestly, I'll probably reset it and do stealth again.
Okay.
It's
So,
the only thing I'm good at out of these.
who is doing survival, who is doing nature?
I have a +8 to both of those. What's your higher plus?
Plus, I have a +2 in nature and a +7 in other thing.
Survival. So why don't
Yeah.
you do the survival? I'll do the nature.
Okay.
You have a better chance.
Alright.
Alright, survival roll.
Okay. Good check. So, you will get, please roll me a d4.
The D4. Okay.
Yep. Alright, gotcha. Alright, I need Umbrin, you to roll me then
Yep.
the nature.
Nature.
Alright.
Oh, Jesus
So,
fucking Christ.
please roll me a d4. Or d6, I think I would say. Roll me the d6.
Oh, hold on. How do I unselect that now?
Mm-hmm.
No. How do I clear that? Oh, there we go.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, D6.
Okay, a 1. Alright. So, let me mark off some things here. Alright. Oh, I can spell today. Okay. Now, let's see here. Okay, let's go over to here, make sure I've got this all set up. And let me do that. And updating that. There we go. Let me move you all to I believe this is the one. That's the one. This map, it didn't arrange. Oh, I forgot I didn't fix this size thing. Well,
We can't see anything right now, so you can fix something if you need to.
so let me see. I don't know how I can get an image to be bigger than a game.
Oh,
I mean, you can zoom in on it.
I can zoom on it. It does not change the grid, is what I'm saying.
Oh.
so what you want to do is change the number of pixels per square.
How do I that?
Hold on, I need to remember how to do this. Let me open up Foundry on my end.
I found this problem and I forgot I hadn't fixed it. This is a me not knowing Foundry issue. Hey, technical issues. They happen on when you're doing a new system that you didn't necessarily know as well.
Launch my own game. Come on, hurry up. Okay. So
wait, ooh, that's better. I think I changed it a little bit. That's better. How good is that?
That's very
Better. Not quite where I want it to be.
oh yeah, here you configure. Okay, yeah. So grid. So you can do grid size pixels under grid. You can also set the dimension.
Look, I'm not gonna lie.
Or set the dimension of the scene, which will, I think, just resize the image itself.
Oh, okay. So set dimension of scene. Where is that?
Yeah. See, so both are under grid. It's scene
grid.
Dimensions.
Scene
so
dimensions.
configure grid scene dimensions.
I see that. Scene dimensions pixels.
Yeah.
I can switch that. But how do I set it to grid, as you say?
Oh, well, I mean, there should be square. So basically, and then a grid size pixels is above that. So you basically, if you want like 100 pixels, if you want the grid to be 100 by 100 or like 100 by 100, then you make the scene dimensions 1000 by 1000, make the grid size 10 or something like that.
Oh, I see. I understand now. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30. So it'd be 30. Oh god, it's not going to be even for width. Damn you.
As long as it's close.
Yeah, so it's 2,000 divided by 30. I can do math. I'm going to get a calculator out so I don't have to do math in my brain.
Again, if you set the scene dimensions to be higher, to be 3,000 by 3,000, then you can set the grid size to be
oh.
Yeah.
It automatically does that. So then I can go to...
I think.
30. Let's do that and see how it works there. Are there objects on the board here now? Let's try pulling... I'm probably pulling Eskret out. No, Eskret's incredibly tiny. Oh my god! Why is Eskret so tiny? Everybody's so tiny! What did I do?
There's like multiple per.
How about...
That's, yeah, I think you need to change the number of grids.
There we go. Wait.
That's very big. So now, okay. Now you're 3 by 3. Great. Okay. So now I reduce it to 100? Sure. Yeah, okay, no. Now it's the correct squares. Cool.
Yep.
Okay. Hey, you know what you said earlier when increasing it to 3,000? That fixed the problem, and then I created a new one.
Okay. Yep. Yeah, it's a mixture of those two things, generally. That's what you want.
Great.
I mean, you basically think of the grid as basically the size of the grid, each square. So grid size is the size of each square, and then scene size is the size of the whole scene. So you have to divide, So if you want 30 squares, then you want 100 grid size in a 3,000 thing, etc.
Yep. Sounds good. Okay, cool. So, now that I got all of that fixed. Wow. Alright. So, cool.
Yeah, put us where we're starting.
Yes. Can all of you basically put yourselves down here, where that little pink idea is, if you can see that there. Anyway, I hope these are these the right size? You are medium.
They always fill
cool.
up. They always fill up a grid.
Cool.
Well,
there you go.
Yeah. If you label them the right size, they should be the right size.
Yes. Well,
Badgers?
giant badgers. Look, I'm using the bestiary browser for these guys, so I was relying on them being correct in the browser. Now I have to start the encounter.
I should equip my armor.
You should
That would
turn on tokenized by default, just so it's a little bit cleaner.
Let me make sure I have my armor equipped.
I never unequip it.
That's something to do after. I'm not saying to do that now.
Let's begin encounter. Cool. All right.
Yep.
Let's see here. I can roll Badger initiative, which I figure how to do.
Yeah. So remember, you select them, them, and then add them. You have to right click and then add to encounter.
Yes.
Toggle combat state. Sorry, not add to encounter.
Toggle combat state. Yeah, you have no modifier. Fortunately, so there you go. Yeah. There's the Badger initiative. So we just need an Ixbanor initiative. Looks like.
I clicked it. Wait, what?
Oh, it's selecting you as the person that's the initiative. That's why.
Okay. Oh yeah, that's what was going on.
Because you were the first one that rolled. You were the first one in initiative. Got you. Okay.
Yeah. So just put me in there.
Yes. Let me get out the Badger sheet so I can see it. I have it somewhere. All right. Cool.
And that's why that bar thing at the top is why it's nice. If you have the Badger selected, you can just do its stuff from the top bar. You don't even have to look at the sheet.
I just like for a thing. How do I delete that?
Oh, interesting. Cool.
Yeah, you see where? Right. Well, you see at the okay, you could do that. I was also going to say at the top where it says strikes, like below the. Yeah.
My dice tray. Yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah. So I can kind of click on it and do its things there. Oh, that's nice. I like that.
Yeah,
okay.
that's what I tried to get you to install.
What the hell does these? I have to look at some of these things that Badger can do. It's like I chose a Badger because it was appropriate underground. But then again, I'm like, what the hell do some of these abilities that a Badger has?
Yeah, but you have to open up the sheet to look what it does.
Last 1 minute. Okay,
it's Umbrin's turn anyway.
It's Umbrin's turn. Gotcha. Okay. I can see what his actions do. So you'll come across like a small opening in the tunnel, and there will be some badgers there. It's
Okay, question, because I am not sure. How do I check like a cone size?
Okay, you have to do the measurement tool, and then there should be the little wedge is a cone.
Measurement tool. In the measurement
tool. Top left, there should be. It's the second one down. It looks like the little L ruler.
Controls.
Sorry, measurement controls on measurement tools. Sorry.
I
think it's called measurement tools in Rule 20.
Ah, okay.
Let me give you an Eskret that theoretically should be here.
Okay.
Which would just do mission.
How do I get rid of that now?
Well, Eskret's last, so I rolled very badly for Eskret.
Do you want me to control him?
You have the option to.
I can't move him, but I can. But I do have a sheet, so I can roll.
Okay, so we can discuss where to move him.
Oh wait, hold on. Yes, I can. Oh wait, no, I can't.
Maybe because I pulled him out.
So... No, it's just because he's I have observation, but I'm not controlling him. I think when it's like there's like a certain thing where it's like the I don't know. I'm actually not certain how that works.
Okay. Anyway, so
okay, that won't
work.
But
I felt like it was appropriate for the encounter because with 3 members, it would have been a much more difficult threat than I was thinking. I'm like, wait a second! I could see this nice thing that told me threat level with only 3 of you. And it was much more difficult than I was planning for. I've learned my lessons.
Oh, okay. Maybe. Okay, never mind. I can't roll for him.
Okay.
I just noticed
I'll
his
just take care of
thing.
it.
Yeah.
I assume he'll do what he did before and just stab things.
Yeah, that's interesting. Okay, yeah, it won't let me. I just realized it's like the buttons are grayed out for me. Yeah, so I just.
It
don't
might just be
control
that
them.
you can view stuff.
Yep.
So
Sorry, I'm looking through my spells to see if I can hit anything with both of them. It's 15-foot cone, 15-foot cone.
now I've learned how to make these things more adjusted to these maps.
Yeah, and if you don't like the thing where it pops up around them, you can turn that off. That's one of the ones that was in the clutter one that I mentioned is unnecessary.
I saw that there, and I don't necessarily mind it because we have the top, but I might turn that off because I do have the things at the top. But
yeah, I mean, it also shows you things like all of their stats in one little quick window, which is neat.
yes, which can be helpful too.
Yeah, so. Waiting for an Umbrin.
I'm
to
sorry.
Make an attack.
Yeah.
I'm just filling space. Don't worry about it. I'm not like.
It's just trying to figure out what to do.
Yeah.
I think
Only
it's the thing
second
too.
fight. In this fight, we actually wanted to have the initiative.
Mm-hmm. Again, it's you have the initiative, and you're not as used to being the first character to do stuff.
There we go. I can go there.
Mm-hmm.
And I am going to cast Earth's Bile.
A spell.
Earth's Bile. Okay. 10-foot burst.
So I can hit both of them.
Yeah. So, let me actually make sure of that because I want to check burst. Just to see if burst.
Well, I can put
shape.
place 10-foot burst.
Burst is
This
from
is
the
right.
center. Burst is from the center, and as long as it has a range, as long as it's not centered on him.
Oh, okay. So the
You have to hover over it and then press the delete
yeah.
key or backspace key.
Yeah.
Get rid of it.
Fireball is a burst. Gotcha.
Yeah.
So
that
it spreads
is
out.
correct.
Then yes, that can hit both of them. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
So they
all
have a basic reflex save.
right. Okay. Let me see. Which I can do.
Just a reminder, basic basically just means double damage on crit failure, normal damage on failure, half damage on on success, and no damage on critical success.
Oh, that one definitely made it.
Ooh, I think that one critically failed. Your DC was 16?
Yes.
Oh no, so it didn't critically fail. That means so
Oh.
just because the critical fail would have been 6.
Yeah.
So roll damage. So the one won't have persistent, the other one will.
Well, you roll damage.
Right, I'm rolling damage.
Yeah.
That's what I'm
Also,
saying.
by the way, Tantus, if you click on one of the badgers and then click damage, it will apply the damage
I forgot
directly.
to actually click on the targets.
Well, in the chat, where it says damage half double block.
Oh yeah.
If you click on those, it'll apply the damage automatically.
Because it's basic, so it'd be half. That one.
Well, no, they on the save they just don't get persistent fire.
Well, no, it is a basic, which means they take half damage, whereas the other one should take full damage because it failed. So one takes full, one takes half.
One persistent fire.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that'd be full damage.
Which is a condition, so yeah.
Yeah.
Persistent damage is a condition.
Assign status effects. Oh my god, it's so tiny. I hate you're so tiny.
Fun fact, if you click on it, there's an effects button at the effects in the tabs at the top.
Oh, goody.
Which is
I
bigger.
can see that. I can see that there. Thank you.
Yep.
God, it was so tiny.
This is why I wanted you to install this. This is so nice when I found this.
1 fire, you said, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Alright. Add persistent damage. Alright.
And I guess I'll sustain it next. It gets sustained next round.
Yes! Okay.
Okay, so
Going
I
back
still
into-
technically would have 1 action left then.
By the way, if
It's
you want to
Moved.
delete,
And that was 1 action, yeah. So you do have another. And that was one of your focus abilities, so...
Yes.
Alright, cool.
if you want to delete the second circle, you just hover over it and
Yeah.
press delete.
It's not letting me do it.
You have to be in the selection in the actual like mode to do it.
There you go.
Yeah, it's dumb. I think that's that's something I want to look into is better controls
Actually, I
for
probably
that.
wanna-
More
Look,
intuitive controls for that.
I'll move it there. Have it there, actually.
the stuff at the top of the screen, that's so nice for me. I'm not going to lie.
I know when I found like don't worry, I mess with this in my free time because sometimes I just want to. So if I find cool stuff, I'll let you know.
Actually, I don't think I have anything else to do.
Oh, I get you.
No, I actually have nothing else to do because.
You can let's see, what's another action you can take? 'Cause I think there is a what's a good one? Oh, you can try and I recall knowledge on them, see if you know something about them. If
We'll
you have
to
an
share
extra
them. I'll probably have to just share the modules at some point. The full one that we're even put together.
I guess
Make it
nature.
Nature would be appropriate. They are badgers, so
Sure. Oh.
21, and this was to lore check
Recall
the
knowledge. Yeah.
Recall knowledge.
Recall
yeah.
knowledge on the badgers.
Yeah, get up. Recall knowledge on badger. All right. So, all right. Sure. They're just big badgers. They claw and bite, can get really angry, and they will strike back at you when they are falling down. So basically, when you defeat them,
I will yell
they get a
that out.
reaction. Okay. Cool. Next in the initiative, then, Talas.
It's me.
Yeah.
I walk forward. I look at one of these stupid badgers.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I'm gonna attempt a demoralize check, which is on this sheet somewhere.
Right.
Target the boy.
Target's will DC. Let's see what that is for Badger. Rule 17.
It's a failure.
Ah.
Fine, and then I will just raise my shield.
Okay, I see. It gives information there. Cool. All right.
How do I pass turn? Where's the pass turn?
I did. Badger 1. Okay. Badger 1, I do have to know your speed. Keep referencing your sheet. I don't know how much.
if you click on them, there should be a little footprint one in that little menu that pops up if you click on him. Around him.
Oh, and the thing around him.
Yeah.
Okay. I see. So. 1. So he's gonna move up, and he will attempt to claw you and bite you.
Okay. If you target me, it'll resolve automatically.
So I guess strike a claw first. 19, I do not think will hit.
No, that will not hit.
Okay, and then he will try to nom on you also. Wow. Well, he'll fail.
Certainly
He's
not
crazy.
a hit.
Yeah. Well, that badger will have taken his turn. guess we'll go to badge number 2, which will take persistent fire damage. And I guess I'll click this roll recovery check afterwards. He will not fail, so he's going to keep on burning.
Sweet.
He's going to move up and I guess go after Umbrin. And do the same
I
thing.
am going to then, as a reaction,
Reaction.
imposing Earth.
Ooh. We'll take. You are the target of a strike, or would attempt a. Okay. Let's see here. You raise a flimsy barrier of earth to shield you from harm. This barrier is 1 foot. The barrier appears between you. Such a triggered effect and grants you standard cover against the triggering effect. You will be damaged by the triggering effect despite the barrier. The barrier is destroyed, and damage dealt to you is reduced by 2. Okay, so you have cover, which I believe is plus 1, 2.
Standard cover, I think, is +2.
Okay, thank you.
Right. In fact, I think you can put it on.
Standard cover.
I think you can put it. Yeah, I think you can put it on as a
condition.
Cover one? No, maybe not. No, I don't see it as a condition. Never mind.
Okay. Alright, so Badger, he will try to get you there with a Storm Strike. 23 hits you then.
23 would hit me, yes.
With your +2.
Yeah, I have a 17 AC normally. That's a 19.
Okay. So he'll roll his damage. -2, so you'll take 6 damage. And then he will try to bite you afterwards. Wow. Hey, yeah. Anyway.
Well, that's not a critical. I have a 17 AC normally.
If you rolled a nat 20, it raises it by 1.
I don't know it's a nat 20, so.
Yeah, we can't see it. So that's why you should target, because it'll tell us that information. Why have I disappeared?
Because you moved.
So you took 12 damage from its mighty bite, which could be a lot worse. That was not too bad for its damage.
Pretty bad when I have a max of 38 hit points.
Look, you know, that guy, that's the Badger that you set on fire and did more damage. It wants revenge. It's Revenge Badger. Anyway, Ixbanor.
Yeah. So can I give it to other people? I forget if there's a default thing or I need a feat for that. No, I won't do it then, just because I don't want to look that up. So spells. I'm going to. Hold on. Oh wait, do cones come from corners in this version? I think they do.
I believe they indeed do.
Okay.
But I cannot answer 100%.
Yeah, I'll start look that up, but for now I'm not. I died last time. My character would not get up close again. I'm going to basically so first I'm going to cast but I'd like to target 2 of them. Fine, I'll move. No, I can't move up, do that and the other thing. Okay, well, you know what? Let's I can hit both of them. Wait, can I? This was 20 feet, right? Oh, yeah. So
right measurements.
So if I go to there, it's 20. And then I'm gonna do. Yeah. Kill me this time! Don't kill me this time! Why can't I target you? Not letting me target. Oh well, who cares? Oh, sorry. First, before I even do that, my bad. I was gonna do this. So basically, they get a -1 to their save.
Can you use your ancestral memories as part of casting a
No. You're right. I moved, so never mind.
Yeah. But you're doing dizzying colors, so they have to
Ignore
make
that.
a will save DC. So let me roll will for these guys here. That will be a failure for that one. Click on that one, and roll for that one. And I believe that's a failure for that one also. So It's not a critical success for each one because you're DC 19.
Yep.
So
But a failure.
Dazzled for 1 round. So
yeah.
I would put the effect of Dazzled in that guy. And on this
Basically gives them a flat DC 5 mischance to all their attacks next turn.
Cool. So they are both dazzled. Alright. Eskret. I guess Eskret would 1, 2, 3, 4. What's your speed, Eskret? I have to go through that.
People can stand on top of me, fun fact.
You can still move around to the side, so I'm just do that. I'm gonna move Eskret here, go there, and I guess we're just gonna do actions. Couple of rapiers, maybe? Sure. We'll keep playing this standard simple here because I'm not 100% sure of all the special things.
Yeah, I mean his thing is dirty tricks, and then if he does dirty tricks and if he does dirty tricks, then he can get panache, and if he uses panache, he can do when he attacks, he can do a finisher, which adds damage, I think.
I remember the Swashbuckler. I've looked over it like a while ago. I can't remember. So I think
honestly,
the 16 will still miss though.
Yes.
Actually.
Yeah. I was deciding originally between. Yeah, that's the thing. Like the targeting wasn't working for me. I'm wondering if something I did, if something changed it. Oh wait, now I remember how. Never mind, I'm done.
All right. Well, I missed with both of those. So it doesn't matter.
Can you target more than one thing at a time?
No.
No, you can only target one.
Umbrin!
It's annoying when you can hit multiple things with a spell.
Yeah.
Well, spells work differently because they have to roll the save after it. So in theory, I think they roll a save. Yeah. So because the targeting tells whether you succeed or not, but you don't roll an attack.
Yeah.
Well, Umbrin, it's your turn.
Eskret. Yeah, I know. Oh wait, nope. There we go. Sustain.
Which you can move it on a sustain?
Yes.
Okay.
When
so
you sustain it, you can move it.
Cool.
I was double checking that.
Mm-hmm.
Let me just ping it again.
I'll have to make another save.
Yeah.
And which is a basic. Yeah, ping it again, please. Great. So the Earth Bile will hit again. Your area of lava and magma that you kind of done. Yeah, okay. When you sustain it each round, thereafter choose an area within range. Gotcha. Okay, so it does do it. It changes the range. You have to be relatively close. That's fine. So I will click on this guy and make another basic reflex. We'll roll for that guy. And we'll roll a second one for the other guy. Alright. So it looks like one will make it. The one that took more damage last time will make it this time, and the one that didn't take as much damage will fail it this time. So please roll me your damage.
Which means at least now the other one will get persistent.
Yeah, so please roll me your damage again. So click on this guy, and you will take half. Not your damage there. You will take full damage. And we have you with persistent damage. Also, 1 fire.
And then...
All right.
I am going to try to strike it with my mace.
Okay.
Because why wouldn't I?
Okay.
Yeah.
That will be a critical damage on that
Bonk.
one. So it certainly does. So hit the critical there for damage. Yes. So as it hits deep into your thigh with its jaws, you hit with your hour back and just kind of bring your mace down on it. So you're trading massive blows on each other.
Hold on.
You can
one
roll
second,
damage?
do this. Yeah, I also I have to do one thing.
Oh, turn on your
Because-
little charm thing.
Yeah, the fire.
Ah. Okay. So you will take that damage. So it takes a pretty good hit on there on that badge. Alright. Was it supposed to do some other kinds of damage or something like that?
It should be a D4 fire, D4 bludgeoning.
Oh, okay.
I don't know
It just
why.
did an extra D4 without type.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah.
So,
But-
it's still...
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
And you have one more move then, because one to maintain...
I will
one
try
bonus.
to strike it a second time.
Cool. Go for it. A 20 will indeed hit a badger. The normal damage.
Yeah. Well, it still also has the D4 fire, so.
Ah. Indeed. Okay. So you will take the damage again. That badger is still standing, but looks to have the shit beat out of it. All right. Talas.
I just have
Okay.
more hit points than I do.
Oh, you should get rid of your wounded condition. Because you rested last night.
Oh. Okay. Okay. I'm gonna do what I usually do. We're gonna demoralize. Yeah, this one's okay. It's fine. So we're gonna demoralize this one.
The one that's slightly less dead.
Yeah. The one that's only threatening me.
Yeah. Gotcha. All right.
Roll that check.
Okay, so the target comes
Okay.
frightened 1.
Frightened 1. We're going to shield raise. I'm gonna slap the guy in front of Umbrin.
Okay.
Try to kill it.
That will hit.
Roll damage. I don't know why that rolled a D. Oh, because I clicked unarmed. I meant to click my sword damage. Oops.
I also should have done something before I killed it off, because it activates a reaction here. Ferocity. Oh!
I'm still alive.
So sorry.
Control Z
How do I-
should work.
Control Z.
Undo.
Nope.
That moved back.
Gone forever.
Oh, okay. There is a way to do this. It's one of the... Because it technically turns it in... Because the blood splat thing is trying to clear space, but... Oh, if you change its HP, basically,
How do
you
I
can click on
target
it.
the splat?
You can open it in the encounter,
Oh, in the
tracker.
account. Oh, in the counter tracker.
and then change its HP. And it should appear back.
I
If you double
undefeated
click.
it.
Yep.
That doesn't allow me to select it though. Undefeating.
Oh yeah, I can't target it either. What happened? Oh, is it on the background layer now? Wait, no, there aren't layers. There isn't a background layer in this version.
Huh.
Is there? Is there a background layer?
There shouldn't be.
Yeah. That's so weird. This must, you know what I think is going on? There may be two things that do this, and it might be
Yeah, it still
conflicting and
says
causing
it's
issues.
dead. What if
Yeah.
you click
Oh
on
wait,
it
add
in the
it. Can you
round?
add it back in? Can you add it back into the? Can you read? You have to. I think you have to re-add it into the combat. You remember how the toggle combat state?
I can't do that because I can't click on the token. I can click on it in initiative tracker, and I got rid of not defeated in tracker.
Yeah, I feel like this is a conflict between two
What
things.
about in the round?
Let me move to its turn, because it would be its turn anyway. It has 0 HP. Hit points. Yeah, it's just weirdly broken.
Well,
Okay, in the round, where where its heart is, can you do anything on that? Right now, if you hover over it, it says dead. Can you?
It has it as 0. Now it's dead again.
Blood splat again.
Yeah.
This is part of. I'm pretty sure this is part of Monk's combat enhancements, or combat details. There, I think. Turn.
So it's sort of like I have to make sure not to reduce things to 0 beforehand. I could just make another badger and set its initiative to 22, can't I?
Yeah, you can. You should be able to edit the initiative.
Toggle combat state.
Yeah, I think there's two things that do a similar thing, and that's causing a conflict, which is what's breaking it. So I'll look into that for you.
24. I will move that down here, so it's 24 after Talas, so it doesn't matter. And we'll just, you had the Precision Fire and Dazzled.
Yeah, well, on his turn, he would take another point of damage and die anyway.
I think you take damage at the end, or do you take it at the beginning? No, I think you take it at the end.
Do you?
No, you take damage at the beginning, and then you do recovery at the end. But he would just basically go up to wounded 2, because he can use it again.
Oh, can he keep using that?
It says that it can keep.
Boys being knocked out, it remains at 1 hit point, but its wounded value increases by 1. Oh, when it's wounded 3, it can no longer use this ability.
But after its turn, it will only get the reaction on its turn. So let me actually go back one. Talas. Now if I go to the new badger with its I have to set its hit points. Which I have to remember how to.
Did you have it, Talas? Did you have any more? Did you do?
No, I used my 3 actions.
Oh, okay.
I have a system of things I do.
Just checking.
How to switch his hit points. Look, I'm just gonna move turn and see if it does that. Does it do the flat check automatically? It didn't. Let me roll a d20. It made it, so it's no longer on fire, but it took the persistent damage, which means it would have done its action, which means it's at 1 technically. Okay. Great. Alright. Badger. Activating Badger Rage. Cool. I guess it's angry. So... Huh. It automatically have Rage built in.
I'm gonna kill this mage.
Effect Rage, you have to... No, because you have to do Effect Rage, you have to, drag it onto the token. So drag Effect Rage on... Yeah, so where it says Effect Rage, in the chat box, you drag it onto the token.
Yes. Okay. So it becomes enraged. So it's technically at 6 hit points. So if you get it down, you deal it 6 hit points, it's dead because it can't get wounded 3. It can't use its...
At wounded 3, it can't use its ability anymore.
Okay, so it can take 2 more hits, theoretically, now. Anyway. Okay. Badger will... Yes. Anyway. It's going to try to strike Umbrin, I guess?
Why Umbrin?
Because I've been doing it all the damage.
You know what?
I put it, I reduced it to 0.
You did try to drop it. It's rageful. I'm gonna roll 2d6, and it's gonna roll... Actually, I'm gonna roll a d4 and see who it targets with each of its attacks. So its claws are going for... Umbrin. Its bite's going for... Ferret.
Fuck.
Umbrin. You're getting a claw, which I think hits you, for 10 damage. And your ferret friend is getting a jaws, which are missing. Rolled.
Yay!
Alright. That badger's dead. But took persistent fire damage! Did the dazzle go away?
Yeah, it's 1 round.
Also, I didn't do the dazzle. Oh god, what's the dazzle do?
It's 5%, a straight DC 5 miss chance.
So I'd roll a d20 and see.
Yeah, I mean, if you see at the bottom, there should be a DC 5 down at the bottom.
Yeah. So roll 2. We'll roll 1 for Joe. So it was successful on doing the dazzle against you, unfortunately. So good check. Okay.
How much did it do me?
10.
Okay, I'm at 10 hit points.
It is beating the crap out of you. Rolling them up. Okay. Talas, you're getting a badger. Well, it will also activate Rage, because, sure. And it will then go at you with, these are, oh, Frightened. Frightened. Gotcha. That's why its stats are slightly different. Anyway, it's going to try to claw you, because you're the only one there. I think a 16 will miss, I believe.
That misses.
It'll try to bite you. 12 will miss you.
It'll also miss.
Alright. Ixbanor, your turn.
Okay. Well,
Getting better and better used to this entire.
Yep. So now I'm actually going to do this.
Mm-hmm. Memory's long get spellcasters. You gain +1 status bonus to your next spell attack or your turn. Or they take a -1 penalty to your spell save. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I think I can. Yeah, I think because it's a penalty, so yeah. So yeah,
I
that'll
can
apply
draw
then.
this effects to them. Who are you targeting?
Oh, that's a good point. Attempt an enemy within 60 feet. I'll do the farther one. Well, no, wait, it's a status penalty, you said? Then I'm going to do the closer one.
Okay, so I'm going to drag this to Captain.
Well, I didn't
6
say
hit
you
points.
said it's on there.
Captain 6 hit points, so that I can't track it 6 hit points.
Well, the problem is, but the other one's already frightened, which is already a penalty, so...
It doesn't allow me to switch his hit points. I haven't figured that out. Manually do that.
To increase its hit points to 6?
No, decrease its hit points.
If you remember to just damage it.
Okay, what am I doing? Oh yeah, now...
I give you damage to it.
Chow in this.
Cone of Flame. Alright. So, let me roll basic reflex.
Yep.
Cool.
And that other one, has a -1
one.
to it.
Okay. So they will both get 19.
Okay,
the
so
first one rolled with a -1.
They both
Actually,
made
no,
it
wait.
anyway.
Does that include the... Let me just check here.
One should have fear, which should be automatic. That actually should be automatic because it's on the token. Both of them should be automatic actually because they're both on the token.
I don't see the penalty to saves on either of those things for fear or that. Oh.
Well, no. It should be, if you look at the roll, it should say above the roll like what the bonuses are.
Yes, I see what bonuses they are to their roll, but what I'm saying is,
You're not seeing the penalties.
I don't think I'm seeing the penalties. Like, if I do that,
I mean, is their modifier a +6?
Oh, okay. So, the first one should be a 19, it wasn't. Got you.
Oh, I see how that, okay.
And the
You have to
second
click it
one
on like that.
should be an 18. Because I've been rolling using the top thing, and I have to roll using the token. I'm seeing that now. Okay.
The top thing should work as well, but oh well.
I may have selected the wrong one, and I forgot that there was a difference in the bonus. Yes, I did. So both of them should have been at -1. So the one that's next to you made the save, the one that's the other one. So roll your damage to them.
Yeah, let me roll damage.
Yeah. So 3. So you
Oh
will
my gosh,
take
that's
half.
I literally rolled a 1 and a 2.
And you will
Yeah,
take
that's what I rolled on my last time.
full damage. Okay. So I have applied the damage appropriately. Gotcha. Awesome. What's your last... Oh, that's all your actions then, right?
Yep.
Yes.
Yes.
Alright, Eskret. Eskret has a full set of attacks now. And there's a badger right in front of you. So, I guess... Again, I'm not sure... Is Dirty Trick would Eskret use first?
Yes, which would, yeah, because the idea is to give them the clumsy, which lowers their,
roll. Thievery check. Target's reflex. That's not a very good roll, so I think they fail.
yeah.
It is not a
certainly.
critical failure, fortunately, but it is a failure. Alright, so, Dirty Trick did not work, and we'll get to attacks.
Mhm.
Probably just Rapier, you think? You know what? No. This turn, Eskret's gonna bite them because well, whatever. Wow, I'm not rolling great for Eskret. I'm not gonna lie. I'm rolling pretty bad. Anyway, Umbrin,
Our rinse, repeat.
you got an explosion.
I will point out, I doubt these things have reactive strikes, so you probably can step away fine.
I'm
Yes.
going to this turn.
I might, after first I'm going to do this, and then I'm going to follow up, try with a hit if need be, and then probably take the step.
Yeah.
But
In fact, don't have a
I mean,
reaction.
and if you want to, and there's also the action of step, which actually negates any type of reaction.
Well, they don't react to this.
They are badges. I don't think they have the usually.
They don't have
fighter
fighter training.
feat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, no. Usually it has to be like a martial type character,
Right,
or
so you
I think, or a big
blast
creature. I
again?
think Hydras get reactive strike.
yep.
All right, and then so I will basically flex for you, and basically flex for you. So they will both make it, and so not get those but they both take damage.
Yeah.
So 6. All right, cool.
3.
All right, so this badger gets hit again, and will be use it. Oh wait, no, wait.
Is it wounded 3 now?
I thought I take 2. I should have taken 3.
Should took 3. Yeah.
Did it round down on both of them?
Oh, I think it did. Yeah.
Oh.
Well,
Oof.
that would still. How much? I'll just add it together and have it do it. I think it's already taken its reaction. So how do I mark it as defeated?
Okay, that you can actually you take it out of combat.
I'll just do this.
Yep.
That
Yeah,
goes.
that also
works.
works.
I'll just half it for that one. And this one just takes the half.
Well, then I'm not next to one anymore.
You're good.
And
Yeah.
I have still 2 actions left, so I could cast something else.
Because theoretically, the only thing that could have happened is you could have hit it and killed it. Because if you didn't do any more damage to it, it would have been at 1 hit point again.
Yeah.
It's fine. We'll just.
I will phase bolt the other one.
Okay. Alright, so you point your finger, and magical energy blasts out from there. So make your ranged spell roll. I believe that does. It hits because of the status penalties on that guy. Oh.
Okay.
Yeah,
And
This is why
Let
you
me
always
roll the
demoralize
damage.
if you can.
Yeah. So 12 damage, which we apply to you as 4. Let's see here if there's anything else. Make a range attack roll against target's AC. The target has any circumstance bonus to AC. Reduce that by 2 for the attack. It didn't. And it doubles on critical. So you take 12 damage. That badger will take a hit. Alright. Talas.
Okay. Alright, we're going to change things up a little bit. Alright, we're going to do some different actions. I'm still going to demoralize. It's always going to be my opening. So.
Okay.
That does not succeed, but does not crit fail, so it's fine. I am then going to.
Yeah, Fierce West are reduced by 1 at the end of a creature's turn.
Yeah, so he shouldn't be frightened anymore.
I have to figure out how to get rid of it.
Right click.
Left click instead of right click or whatever, or right click instead of left click.
It adds both in that menu there.
It's so afraid. Oh god, you. Okay.
I made him hostile now. Damn it. I've got to go into the tiny menu because the tiny menu does that.
Anyways, I'm gonna touch a sad man and heal you for 6 HP. I'm gonna give you 2 AC.
Thank you.
Healing, and then you can just roll the healing.
Dazzle,
I think if I just press this, that works. Yeah, you can apply the healing.
No? Oh yeah, Dazzle should be gone as well.
Thank you. That feels better.
Yep, and you have plus 2 AC, which, yeah, you shouldn't need, but you never know.
So I'm going to say, that menu up top's nice, but it doesn't really let me remove stuff very easily.
Alright, is this guy good for me to slap him?
Sure, go ahead. Go slap.
I'm not going to slap him, I'm going to try and trip him.
Okay.
When should I roll this check, I think? I put trip action on here. Browse. Trip.
We're going to lay on hands to heal.
Trip.
Oh.
Action. Put these on the sheet. I target the guy. And then I roll this. Your athletics.
Okay.
He is tripped.
Okay.
So he is knocked prone.
Alright, so then I can go to here.
That is my full round of stuff. I will click turn.
And takes D6
Prone.
bludgeoning.
So roll your D6 bludgeoning. I think we can click on it here. I can see there. I can roll that, and then I rolled Parable. Sorry, but you smack that badger and he's down prone. Anyway, I guess it's Living Badger's turn.
Yeah. Also, I gotta remove that because my shield is not raised currently.
You didn't recover, so you took a damage. But you're prone. Hostile. I can't get rid of. I didn't mean to do that. That's okay. He already was hostile, but I made him more hostile. On fire and prone. God. I guess. Does he want to spend an action getting up? Because I think that's an action.
There's an action to get up.
Mm-hmm.
Alright, so...
Which triggers a reactive strike, but I don't have.
Unfortunately, I don't have reactive.
You can't get it to level 4.
Nope.
So the badger's
not on my list of things to get anyways.
Badger's gonna stand
Actually,
up.
it is at level 4. You should be able to get it. I'm pretty sure.
Well,
It's
it's
a
not on
cost
my planned out list of things to grab.
And
That's
then
fair.
he's gonna try to angrily claw and bite you.
Okay.
So he's gonna claw at you. I'm pretty sure that hits on that one.
That will hit, but it won't crit, I think.
What's your AC?
21.
Yeah, it won't crit. So you take 10 big hit there from that roll.
I gotta read how this ability works. Hold on. I will reaction shield block and reduce the damage by hardness, which I think is 8, if it's the little H symbol.
Hardness. Yeah. I mean, it should be on your on the left side on your main sheet.
Yeah. Okay. So it's 8. So I take the remaining 2, and so there's the shield.
Okay.
All right.
Okay. So you split some damage between the shield, but it took some of your damage for you.
Okay.
Yep. Alright, so it's going to try to bite you then. I don't think a 15 will hit. And that will be its turn. Ixbanor.
Okay.
I already rolled that, but it's trying to give it to me again.
And quick alchemy. Hold on, what's its status right now? Let's do you. Now. Oh wait, let me target it. Target. Right. You.
Okay. That will miss. Unfortunately.
Okay, well, if it's just a normal miss, it still takes 1 splash damage.
So it does take 1 splash damage.
Yeah, so yeah. Or, no, 2. Sorry, 2 splash damage.
Oh, now we'll just do this splash damage. Boom. There's a hit. The splash. It's kind of it's making badger noise. So like, anyway. Was that all your moves then?
Yep.
Eskret will move over here. And we'll just do, I guess, the dirty trick and so we'll do the dirty trick. And do a thievery check. Roll there. That's a 30. Okay. I'm pretty sure it's against its reflex DC. Yeah, its reflex DC is not that big. So it gets clumsy 1. So targets clumsy 1 until they use an interact action to end the impediment. So it's got to use an action to get rid of it.
Yeah.
So let me drag clumsy 1 over to this guy. Cool, I can do that. And what does Panache do? I am unsure how to use Panache for his character.
Okay. It depends on which thing he took. Let me
just make an attack and we'll see how that goes, because if I don't hit, I don't think it matters. Probably?
No.
So let me make a rapier strike. I don't know. Let me look at this creature with the clumsy 1. That would hit with the clumsy 1. Okay. Its AC is 16 currently. So let me check his abilities with Panache.
Oh, I think it's yeah. So
me learning how to do stuff with a
when you make a strike
Swashbuckler.
against a natural finesse weapon, oh wait, no, that's if the strike is part, you deal 2 additional precision damage. If the strike is part of a finisher, the additional damage is 2d6. So basically, he gets to do a finisher, which is basically just the basic finisher is basically just an attack that does something on a even on a failure. Is normally how it goes.
Okay. So normally, Eskret
Yeah,
does
so
2
normally,
extra
so he
damage
gets
with
so he
Precise
gets 2
Strike,
damage no matter. Yeah.
which is probably built into the attack, I'm guessing? Probably?
If he has the panache effect, maybe.
Let me see the damage. Roll the damage and see what we get here. I can
failure. Okay, so
I can
yeah,
activate
so
Precise Strike. Okay, so I can activate Precise Strike. Gotcha. Okay. Cool. Alright, so 9 damage. There you go. I can activate the finisher. And I can roll the damage, which...
Was it
Kills
supposed to die, or was it supposed to use it?
Okay, so it rolled ferocity automatically. I undid that, but it's still, I can't interact with it.
I think there's a conflict between two modules,
Anyway,
so I'll have to help you figure that out later.
Umbrin hit it a couple of times. It used its thing, so hit it again, and I don't think it can use another reaction.
Well, I'm still sustaining Earth's bile.
It's dead then, because it can't not take a damage. So
Yeah.
it can't use its reaction to ferocity again. Therefore, at 1 hit point, it dies. So, alright, cool.
Badger meat.
I will now end encounter, because I think we figured it out. Yes.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Dun 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 dun.
Yeah. Taking some getting used to, figuring this stuff out.
There's a lot of bloodstains there. Anyway. I'll just leave you on that little tunnel area here.
Oh, it's literally called... Yeah, you might just want to disable Monk's blood splats.
Okay.
You can, yeah. You can turn it off.
Disable Monk's blood splats.
Yeah.
Yeah.
As cool as it looks, it seems to.
The intention is to get rid of clutter, so you don't have a bunch of tokens all the time. However, something seems to be broken, so who knows?
Yeah. All right. So you've successfully defeated the monsters that were here. A number of vicious badgers that seem to be defending this area. All right. So if one of you wants to roll, one of you can roll me a d10, one of you can roll me a d6, and the other can roll me a d4. Your choice on this one.
I'll roll the 6.
Okay. I'll roll the 4.
Okay. I'll roll the 10 then.
Okay. Alright. So you will find 10 silver, 2 gold, and 4 of what's the lowest level healing potion?
Minor.
And 4 minor healing potions. It looks as though they had maybe killed some kind of hunter long ago, as you can see the remains of one of them within their little lair here that you kind of came across.
Okay, let me...
Their equipment destroyed. I guess they've got some ravaged leather armor and a bow or something, but most of what you find here is their packings and stuff.
You said it was 2 gold, 10 silver?
Yes, 2 gold, 10 silver, and 4 minor
healing.
Yeah.
2 gold, silver. I'm adding them to the party sheet so we can figure it out later.
Cool. Rest in peace, random dude who was down here and eaten by badgers. Rest in peace. His skeletal remains have been chewed very much so. Badgers found him delicious. But I think we should probably end it there before we dive deeper into this and continue on the rest of the exploration. And maybe I'll refine the rules for the exploration a little bit. As I said, I've spent a couple days and, maybe add a few more things to the entire nature. Because I wanted to come up with my own little, exploration kind of mini thing, because I've seen a couple people do it. And this is a lot more different than just I throw you in a dungeon and kind of do it. And I wanted to do something like that, though. I just don't have to have, like, a kind of weird dungeon.
Someone made a good point one time, and that is, if you just have like a map for a maze, it's not a maze. To get the feeling of a maze where you're feeling lost, you have to have some sort of like outside system where you don't see where you're going, because otherwise it's just drawing a map or something.
There's a lot of weird tunnels going out this way, and some of them look a lot less dug and maybe more natural that you've been entering into. So that's another part of this. But we'll worry more about that next time as you're exploring to the north. And you defeated the mighty badgers and got some healing potions, which might help with the damage you took. That one badger really was mean, especially for Umbrin. Tasted the blood. Not the caverns music. So, anyway, all right, everybody. I hope you enjoyed today. We will be back next week for more exploration. We'll see how this goes. The group has made some progress to getting to their final end goal in exploring these northern tunnels. So, what will they find there? What secrets are there to discover? Who knows? They'll have to find out. Anyway, I guess everybody gave that interest in the beginning, so I guess we can say, I think, unless anybody else has anything, Wyrm, you can give the shout-outs for your stuff, since you're the big guy that also does a lot more streaming.
I'm Diamond Wyrm. You can find me on twitch.tv/DiamondWyrm or at DiamondWyrm on Twitter and Blue Sky. Next time I stream, I don't know. Maybe tomorrow, but definitely Friday.
Yes.
I have tomorrow off, so I'm taking the next 2 days off of work because I've just been in serious burnout, and so I'm just like, I just need a break.
Yep. Definitely speaking, you'll be joining me, at very least me and Blaze, for Friday for, we're doing Overcooked 2. I think we're continuing that.
Yeah, we'll do that one.
Yeah. So, myself, I'll be back tomorrow. I'll do some more tabletop-related videos. At least I'm doing 2, maybe 3. Maybe do some gaming or hanging out afterwards, so come and join me for that. That's going to be in the afternoon, around 3 or 4. Keep it apprised of my Discord for exact timing. I'll be back on Friday for gaming and maybe last tabletop thing. I talk about it and stuff. Make sure to join next week for this thing. Discuss the tabletop Saturdays at 6. And I think that's the main thing to shout out. So, hope everybody enjoyed. Again, getting used to Foundry, trying to figure out stuff. I'll probably come up with a list of all the various modules I installed with Wyrm and find a place to put it together so people can see it. And I might, let people know my system I put together. Again, this was an interesting little, system at the end here. I will take criticisms or comments or suggestions, because I threw this together in 2 days. It's just something that I wanted to do that was a little different than just getting a map. So, it probably still needs work. Maybe I'll use it more.
I mean, if it becomes a discussion topic, I have a lot of opinions about how these things should get work.
All right, everybody. Until next time, bye. And we'll see people.